Hi guys, this is Team Skittles again. We're bringing you a deck profile on Alice the Girl of the Lake. So with this ruler, her judgment cost 8, but it's reduced by every fairy you control. So obviously, this is all about the fairies, So, obviously, this is our pre-stamped Alice. She's a 9/9 with flying. And whenever this card enters the field, recover all fairy resonators you control. Your Goddard costs you 2. J resonators you control gain 2/2. And then you search your deck for Excalibur, the fairy god sword, and put it into play. And that's all she does. But the fairy god sword gives her a big boost for every fairy you control. So just to change it up, we're going to start off with the stone deck first, then we'll go to the main deck. We play 2 of the Magic Stone of the Moonlight. This combos well as long as you don't get it first turn, because obviously we don't have a Moon archetype. But it combos well with stones that generate any color, such as your fairy stones. So then we play 2 light stones of Heat Ray, because we play a lot of heat, and we want to have something that's able to access our fire fairies when we need it. And we don't want to generate all color stones, because that would be a lot of life point cost with Magic Stones of Moonshade. Because with this, you can tap it to produce a moon, or pay 200 to produce light, fire, green, wind, or dark, which you need for this deck, because we play every color fairy. And then we play 4 of the fairy Magic Stones. This produces light, but whenever it comes into play, you gotta reveal a fairy. So if you don't have a fairy, it comes in rusted, which sucks, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Or you can tap it to produce any color for fairies. Then it also has the additional effect to target a fairy resonator you control by tapping a light stone and this. Then that fairy can gain 2/2 until the end of the turn. So that's our stone lineup. Pretty basic. You pretty much just play 8 stones that can almost generate any color. So now we're going to play, well, I'll show you the main deck. We play 4 of the light sprite. 1 drop fairy. Tap it, gain a heart life for every fairy you control. So she's your life point gain. So essentially, the Moon's Shade Stone technically will have no cost on you, because you'll be gaining life points. So then we play 4 of the Flame Sprite. 1 drop with Swiftness, 2/3 with Flying, so you can attack with her, or you can use her ability to do 100 damage to a resonator for every fairy you control. So then we play 3 Aleen's of the fairy. This is a 2-drop 4/4 with Flying, with an awakening cost by tapping a moon. You can search a card for Protection of the Fairies, which is our next card, so that way we can explain what that is. Protection of the Fairies. It's a 1-drop that puts a 2/2. Or if you go to equip to a fairy, there's no cost on the card, and then you can banish this card to prevent the damage to a resonator. So essentially, if one of your cards is about to die from damage, you can get rid of this card. If it's being killed by something such as stoning to death, it is no good. So then we play 4 fairies from the new set, known as the Black Moon Fairy. This is a 1-drop 2/2 with Flying, and whenever this card goes to your banished area / your graveyard, you add a fairy from your graveyard back to your hand. This becomes very handy later when you need another fairy other than this card, such as life gain or anything like that. So with your fairies, they also go well with this card, Heaven's Grounds of Armorel. This allows all flying resonators to gain 2/2. You can also tap 2 stones, plus tap this card to rest target resonator without flying. So this can also hit anything big that might be problematic for you. So that way you can attack it or do shenanigans. So then we play 1 Gwyber, because obviously we play a lot of 1-drops. So this card can become free, or just be really easy to summon, and it's got flying, so it can come 14/14 with the field card. But also our other fairies, which weren't in here earlier. We play 4 of the Water Fairy. When this card enters the field, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a fairy, it gets put into your hand. It's a nice +1 when it works, considering most of your cards are fairies. Then we play 4 Vernon, Lady of the Lake. This is your biggest 3-drop card, but it's a 3-drop with flying 5/7. You can tap it to summon a fairy that's a 1 cost from your hand instead of having to pay a stone for that fairy. But essentially, most of your fairies are 1-drop, so all works out to be the same in the long run. Then every time a fairy enters the board, including herself, all your fairies for the turn gain 2/2. So if you play this, then you play a bunch of 1-drop fairies after, like your Fire Swiftness ones, they get very big, very quickly. So then, we also play Nimoon, which is similar to our fairy, which searches from our deck protection of the fairies. Instead, this one adds protection of the fairies from our graveyard, so you can keep protection of the fairies circulating and always have it on board to bump up your fairies and protect. So now we're going to show you the regalias. We play for the Demon Sword. We play this mainly for the swiftness ability for your Jailer, so that way when you flip it, you can also get that extra damage in for game if it's needed. You can also tap it to make your ruler do an additional 200, or banish it to give it imperishable. Or if you have extras in hand, you can always discard it for a Firestone if you need to make a colored stone for your Fire Fairies or any color for other things. And then we also play 2 Excalibur the God Swords. We play 2 mainly for the effect because if you search it, well, if it's already in your hand, her God's Art's only half active. So instead we play 2, so that way no matter what you can always try to keep one in your deck if you mulligan one. And put it on the bottom. Because the way this works, your J-Ruler gains 100 for each Resonator you control. Or you can tap it to reduce any color for a fairy. And if you banish this card, your J-Ruler gains imperishable. So with that, that makes your J-Ruler very large very quickly. So that's our deck profile on Alice the Girl of the Lake. Any questions or comments or things or ideas you like about the deck, comment below on that. Have a great day. And this was the Red Skull from Force Will Team Skittles. Have a fun day.